I rather love the story we did a couple days ago. And now we have an update. Black Scottish TikTokers expose racism in Scotland. They freedom fighters too. Look, it was fun while it lasted.
So obviously in the last couple of days, we've just found out that the Americans didn't know that there was black Scottish people in Scotland, right? But the comment sections for me are just a little bit problematic. Do white people like black people over there? And that doesn't really sit right with me. Like, don't do that. Of course we like them because they're just normal human beings living their life. Like, don't do that. We don't differentiate here. You're just Scottish. That's it. The bottom line. You're just Scottish. We don't say white Scottish and black Scottish. That's not the way that it is here. It never has been that way here. If it has been, I've never seen. How would we know because we're white? Well, we live here and it's a lived experience, right? So I feel like it's a very American way of thinking and it's just not the way that it is over here.
Americans discovered this week that black Scottish people exist and that they're real. And there's this mutual love going back and forth between black Americans and black Scots. And in the comment sections, black Americans are asking the black Scottish people, is it safe for us to come over there? How do they treat you over there? How's life over there? And I've seen several videos like this from white Scottish people where they're saying, we don't do race over here. People are just Scottish. We don't differentiate. Trust me when I say this to you, every black person in the world that lives in an either European or mainly white country knows that they're black.
Duh. I heard her say problematic. The accent's so thick, I don't know what else she said, but he summed it up for you. She basically was saying, we don't see color over here. And we know, I've never been there, and I can tell you that's not true. Okay? Certainly not true. So there you have it. Certainly didn't take long for people to try to ruin the love fest. Black Scottish TikTokers were enjoying it. Boy, we were celebrating them. White Scottish folks online have been downplaying the racism that exists in their country in response to the trend. I never could understand why people who aren't subjected to that racism, not directly, are the first to comment and tell you it's not happening. Huh? It's like a man telling a woman the pain threshold of having a baby. I think you should shut up. It's tough to deny racism in Scotland when videos like this do exist.
Spraying debt all over the place, saying the place was effing stinking, and then moved seat behind me and said to go back to your own country. None of that's related to me, right? Okay.
No, it's nothing to do with your colour.
I thought I was losing my mind. And I was like, and I looked up and I was like, sweet old lady, wouldn't he? Would they? Aye. Back to your own country. That's not right. Thank you. I knew she was being racist. Are you proud of that though? You're proud to be racist? Well, I'm embarrassed for you actually. You're proud to be you. You're being a racist. I was born here. I'm more Scottish than you probably. You're British.
Now I heard what she said, the sister there. You're proud to be a racist. I'm embarrassed for you. So they're just like us across the pond, just like us in Scotland. These black Scottish TikTokers had a lot to share regarding the racism they faced in the country.
I'm holding in tears because it is a subject, a very touchy subject that I feel that I've never been able to speak about racism in Scotland. Just because I can only speak about my experience. I can't speak on any other person of colour, a black person at all. And I would never try to, but I have seen some comments of black people saying like, oh, there's no racism in Scotland. And I'm like, look at my last video. But the first time I experienced racism that I can proper remember, I was 7 years old in a soft play, and I was on the floor of the soft play just playing. I think I lost my cousins. I think they disappeared. And I was by myself, and a group of 3 or 4 boys circled me like right round, and they were looking down on me because I was sitting on the floor, and they were saying stuff like, "Do you eat poo? Do you eat?" That's what they were saying. That was the words that they were saying. Bear in mind, they were young. I was about 7. They were maybe like 9. why are you that skin colour? And their faces were bright red, laughing, like proper hysterically laughing at each other.
If you grew up black and Scottish in a predominantly white area, and also Glasgow's most deprived area at the time, and you and your siblings basically fought every day to be liked by white people, because one day they would like you and the next day they wouldn't, and even though you had a pretty good sense of community in your area, there was still obviously racism that was still very much alive and actively portrayed within your face. You made really good friends with the Polish boy that lived on the second floor. However, your neighbours on the first floor seemed to have extreme problems with you because they were racist and they didn't like that you were black.
Not gonna lie, I thought we'd be able to enjoy the love from our American cousins for a little longer before things inevitably started going left, but here we are, a little sooner than I expected. Someone's asked me to do a video about how I refer to myself, like what I identify as, basically, and what other people consider that I am. Someone actually left a comment on one of my videos saying that I'm not Scottish, I'm Nigerian, a Nigerian living in Scotland, basically.
I experienced microaggression, actually racism from teachers. I experienced racism from classmates. Like, I've experienced, like, I remember one incident when me and my family, we finished from church. We were waiting at the bus stop at that time. There were like 3 guys on their bikes started like shouting like racist chants to us. Obviously, I'm not gonna see it on TikTok. And I will always remember that, like, growing up, or even like getting made fun of about my hair texture. They would compare it to being pubic hair.
There is racism here. I'm so sorry to burst everyone's bubble. In my area that I grew up, I stay outside of Glasgow. There just wasn't a lot of black people in my area. I'd say a lot of our culture, like the rest of the world, is influenced by America. So yes, people over here do use the N-word. I've seen a few comments about asking that question, but yes. And white people are not afraid to use it. Yeah. One instance was a Christmas dance that my school held at Celtic Park. Old Digger came on. From there and then, I just knew what was going to happen. Still have the video to this day on my camera roll. This happened in 2018. The N-word was thrown around there. Complained to the school about it, that they shouldn't be playing this type of music. Even one of my aunties came into the school to speak to them about the racism, and they did nothing. Again, this is the same school that rewarded a boy for dressing up as a Rastafarian man in blackface to a Halloween party. He won Best Dressed.
So we don't sound alike, but we have a shared experience. It seems, Jackson, and that's the one thing I do like about social media, because it allows for completely open borders. We get to see and hear and learn about things going on other places. We get to share a common bond, even an ugly one. But basically the gist of it is there's nowhere you can escape to. Although some will tell you, go if you choose. Nobody's going to tell me to go back to what country? What are you talking about? There's some places that you can perhaps not face it maybe every hour of the day. But here we go again. It seems colonizers, the one commenter there referenced America teaching the world. I'll say colonizers throughout the course of time have taught the world to hate us. What say you?
Well, I mean, I think the idea, whether it's Scotland or any country, that racism doesn't exist here is, yeah, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, because racism is unfortunately kind of a part of human nature and our tribal approach to engaging with one another. You know, it's a form of the other. You know, you see this in any type of minority community, in any type of setting, which is why you need protections for minority groups in any country. You know, and speaking of Scotland, you know, there was Britain had them in a chokehold, still kind of do. You know what I mean? So they've dealt with that plenty. Discrimination among different groups of white people because they are the other. So that's something that we're always going to have to deal with. And why we always have to keep the fight alive and just keep our awareness of just how we're engaging with other people. Because again, it's part of our nature, unfortunately, to kick the weak ones. So of course
Yeah.
racism exists in Scotland.
I think it would be nice to have a forum where we all come together across all continents, all countries, and share this common bond. I also would like us not to have to talk about the ongoing trash, filth, and discrimination and remind folks that kings and queens, that's that's where people are coming from. Okay, kings and queens. We'll keep following it. I love the accents. It's a little thick, though. The Scottish accent is quite thick and difficult for me. Yeah, it's a
Right.
little difficult to pick up on, but I don't mind it. Dang, you ain't got to say much to me from what I saw last week on the program. We don't have to talk at all.